has begun.
Oh.
This is the way.
Or so I'm told, Stuart, or so I'm told by you and other wonderful, fine people.
Exactly. Well, welcome back, guys.
Back again! We made it! Another week.
Early this week, which
It's
a
true.
few people have said
That's
they
true.
won't be able to see it till tomorrow, so they're kind of questioning why. That's why I have a pin post at the top.
Yep. Well, it'll be our regular other live, the edited review out tomorrow for those that don't see it and want to, watch along with us in a sense. Then, hopefully enough of you'll jump in. But it's only been out only so many hours in America, so it has to be seen after all. Anyway, but yes, here we are. Episode 6. It wasn't a heist shirt. It was more of just a gala, just a gentle gala, really. Wasn't really any heist at all.
Yeah.
Surprising,
And,
actually.
I mean, a Picard speech. So
Yes. Yeah, and we got. Have we ever? Yeah, so this is our first time with two Picards since Family in 1989. If you think about it, like two different Picard characters, because the Picard is not a lineage; it's a dude. So that's kind of cool. And the wife didn't talk that much in the episode, so it's nice to have two different. Although, is she really British? Because her accent was a bit like, "What are you trying to be? What's your accent?" I'm from England, and we have a lot of accents. We're like, that's a fake accent. It sounds like. I don't know what you're trying to do specifically.
She's just really bad at being British.
Well, no, she's French. That's the whole point. She's French, who grew up in England.
Well, no, she was raised in the south of France.
But she was.
Just tell me what I've heard.
Well, in fairness, they can just commute between the two quite quickly. So maybe she had summers in one and then lived in the other, or
Possibly. So she's confused. She has a confused accent.
no French in it though. This is spoiler talk. Yes, Chuck. We're not doing a 2-hour non-spoiler talk. That'd be insane. That'd be an impressive feat, though, to do 2 hours of not talking about the thing.
Hey, we could pull it off. We're good. Matt Boardman throws in $5. The Picard speech in this episode gave me some goosebumps. It was great to hear one again. Yes. Well, directed by Jonathan Frakes. So, I mean, he knows his Trek and his Picard. He knows his captain, my captain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very much let him be him. Let him be him. Let him be... Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to start sharing though, so I'll see you in a bit.
Go for it. Yeah. Hit that like button, guys. We have 58 people here, 24 likes. Let's try to get to 50 likes. You can do it. Super chats are greatly appreciated and really do help out the channel. So if you're able to, please do so. We will read them all on the air and talk about what you guys want to talk about. If there's anything you noticed, anything we missed, anything like that, that's a good time to super chat and let us know. So if you're able to, please do. Also, you can help us on a monthly basis by clicking that join button down there beside the subscribe button. First of all, make sure you're subscribed. Second of all, click that join button. See if you can help us on a monthly basis, or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards as another way to help us monthly. So lots of ways to help us out, but hitting like is the best and easiest way. So if you're able to do that, please hit like. Also, don't forget that there are links down below to Eagle Moss, to the Trekyards store on TeePublic and Teespring. But the TeePublic store is the bomb, so check that out. Check out some Trekyards merch, see if there's anything you want to pick up. And yeah. So you can save yourself some money with the Eagle Moss codes and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool stuff down there, so check it out. That's what I'm saying. And the reason we're doing it early today is because I am heading to Chicago tomorrow morning for the Mission Chicago convention. So if you see me there on the weekend, by all means, please say hi if you're going to be participating. I would like to chat with you. But yeah, so we're going to talk today about 2 of 1, episode 6 of Picard. Jean-Luc Picard, season 2. And yeah, kind of a short episode again, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So But please feel free to super chat and hit that like button. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ozzy. I will not be using my cloaking device. Why would I do that? There's more chance of getting hit by another car that way. I said, what? Anyhow. Oh, we got a poll. What did you think of episode 6? Loved it, liked it, okay. Didn't enjoy it overall. Go vote on the poll as well. This is the way.
Yes, indeed. So, Stuart, what do you think of Season 2, Episode 6? And have you thought any differently now you've watched it more than once?
It's... like it feels kind of un-Star Trek-y in a way, but at the same time not. Like I said, we got that Picard speech. We got enough action and stuff going on, I guess. But, you know, it's 2024, like, typical drama kind of episode of any kind of drama series. I don't know. It just felt kind of bland to me. Plus, it was short. It was this one and the last one were super short, so I wish it would have kind of been combined, but... other than that, a lot of good writing, a good Picard speech, good direction, a little callback to Enterprise, which was great. And we got to see a lot of the red dress. So overall, I can't complain. I mean, the Jurati and Borg Queen stuff was probably some of the better stuff in this episode for me anyway. And looking forward to seeing where that progresses to next episode. But few questions raised, I guess, but overall, got to revisit Teresa at her clinic and, you know, see the importance of that character. So yeah, I mean, there's some cool stuff going on, but overall, just kind of for me. How about you?
Yeah, it's thoroughly okay. Well, that's the short answer. I'm definitely. I've had enough. I've lived enough. 2404. They're not using it to its fullest. We can move past it, and they're not going to, which kind of makes me sad because we're going to keep in this tale, even though in theory the Renee storyline is finished because they got into quarantine, and that means Q can't get to her unless he wants to. In which case he could get to any point anyway because he's Q. So it's a tricky thing to have any sort of sense of pace now. Given they've solved the solution. So next week's going to be all about. In Picard's brain, that big reveal, and Jurati Borg Queen, Renee will be forgotten, and then you'll have episode 8, which will be he's awake again, and now Q's doing... Anyway, so yeah, and I don't know why they didn't use more tricorders, more tech, more you know, Brent didn't mention eugenics war. He should have said, I was there at the right hand of Khan, didn't even sing, and I can't save my goddamn daughter. Like, something to ground it rather than just he's some guy in Hollywood Hills that made a genetically modified baby. Like, there's things they could have done to really kind of ground it further. And yes, the Picard speech is great, hence the thumbnail, and even Renee's pretty good in the performance. It's just lacking those important elements that it was a short episode. You could have done 10 more minutes and put them all in. It almost felt like they were actively trying to keep this one short so they could move past the Renee storyline and get to the next storyline which we're more interested in.
Yeah.
Like, well, we have to get past it to get to the good stuff. But we're episode 6. This is the good stuff. This is the. It is strange. It feels as if they. I know Pandemic obviously had a big deal in this stuff, but it's really suffering from the lack of scale, scope, vision. You know, it's. Yeah. Well, I will say that I thought a lot of the shots of Patrick, especially the early first half, he was really freaking spry. Like, lack of wrinkles, he looked very good in the tux. Like, he looked really on point. You wouldn't think he was his age, I thought. For whatever reason, I maybe put more makeup on him. And what a well-fitted suit does to the guy. He looked really, really sharp.
Yeah.
You know, didn't feel like his age. And even the voice, he's trying hard for some of it. So I thought Patrick did, again, a good job pushing forward again this week. It's just the main story is just so minimal. Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck Jones says, confused about Picard getting injuries on his synth body. Why? It's practically a human body. It's almost an exact replica of a human body.
That's what Erickson wanted.
Yes.
I mean,
that's why his nose bled when Q slapped him earlier.
Yeah. Although this obviously mirror alternate Arik, which has different rules, you'd think Arik could actually prefer a body that doesn't have pain, because he could be a a more evil guy. So actually they could say the opposite, but whatever. I mean, that's the thing, they don't want it to be a synth. They've not almost talked about it at all. So this production team is like, we'll joke about it and not have it mean the thing.
And it's not a thing until it's a thing, because the defibrillator. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
But you would think, there'd be way more elements to that.
Yeah. Wouter215 throws in €10. Did you know you can use super chats to make the captain make funny noises? Noises like whoop whoop, beep. Alex Kurtzman has had an overall net positive effect on the shows.
Oh, wow.
And Bill Bip Boop Bop, or Bill Bip Bip Bop Bop. Bip Bip Boop Boop Bop Bop. There you go. Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Loved guest stars Girardi's Tatas. Great double act. Wow.
Well, they were certainly a standout of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
They even mention it. They know how good she looked. I wouldn't be surprised if that was an improv, like an added line on the day. It's like, damn, Alison, you look really freaking good in this. Let's just add a line here.
Well, yeah, they even had the bartender like, yeah, absolutely. And he was all like, woohoo.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But shout out.
Even his eyes even went. Boop.
But shout out though, Ball Queen again, great performance, and this is now a interbrainal Ball Queen sentient intelligence artificial life form. So it's not even our queen, it's not a universe queen, it's not even a half destroyed queen. It's now a temporal sync queen. It's now there's so many. It's another great variant, and all credit to the lady who's. Please go say hi. Please say hi to her at the weekend, because you'll be seeing her. You could see her and say congrats from us. It's doing a very, very good job.
Absolutely. Okay, well, this is, like I said, a shorter episode, so I'm not sure how long this live is going to be. There's enough to talk about, I think, but we'll see how it goes.
If there isn't that many of you here, then it'll be short as well. But starts off with the opposite of a bang, because he's on the floor, his heart's stopping, but the equivalent of starts off with a boom, here we go. And instantly I thought, oh, yes, this is one of the flashback. We're gonna make these apparent, but you don't quite get enough of them to kind of... It's still so unclear, the most unhelpful things. You just know it's going to be important, but...
Yeah, and it looks like at the end of that, in that flashback sequence, it looks like he's holding a chess piece, which looks like a queen, which I thought was quite interesting. So we'll see where this goes, but there's a few flashbacks in this, and there's a interesting looking fellow near the end in one of those flashbacks. So. Okay,
yeah. But you get the first scene with not Laris, and you awkwardly, I thought I missed it first time, but you awkwardly get her saying, "You call me Laris again," despite him clearly being silent. I'm thinking, when? In what context? It should have started with, "How's it going, Laris?" I mean, I don't know why you start off with, like, he's quiet. It's a weird...
Well, he could have said, go ahead, Laris, or something in front of him in line. I don't know.
It's just, you think you missed it the first time, but he doesn't say Laris. So it's just a bit of an awkward transition.
Yeah, and we get what the audience is thinking, I thought you might be an ancestor, but, you're Romulan, so it doesn't seem possible. But then later she says something in Romulan, if you look at the subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what? Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and also this episode even shorter than you think, because they had 2.5 minutes of last time on.
Yeah.
And then the credits. So for a 38-minute episode, 3 minutes was literally not part of the episode, so it's almost 10%.
Well, yeah. There's some foreshadowing here, too, because she asks who Laris is to him. He's like, oh, nobody special.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, thank you for that. Now I know what it's like. Look like when you lie. So if she goes into his mind like she plans, she'll...
It's a good shout. Yeah, I like that. And it is a good little scene. I wish there were more of these fun scenes, honestly.
Yeah. Captain Chilibina, $5. I actually really like this episode. For whatever reason, I found it more engaging than the other 2024 episodes. Picard was good this week. Loved the speech. Yes.
It was more focused on one story, but nothing really happened really in the one story. Like, as soon as they get going, they stall and just start chatting amongst themselves. It's like, well, yeah, because the mission is just to watch the lady. The mission is just to be there. Which I also thought was a bit annoying how they remind each other the plan while in the situation over comms. It's like, dude, we know the plan. We had to all get suited up. Like, we know. Don't waste screen time, please. And also, are they meant to be security or guests?
They're meant to be guests at that point, I think, except for Rios. He's got a name badge on, which he gives to Picard later.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
But then Jurati, who's not searched, excellent security, stuns him instantly, which I have no problem with. And then the Queen is back. Mwahaha.
But the key's in his pocket. You probably should have waited till he was closer.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. And she's trying to move that chair. Thank you, Jonathan Frakes. That's all I'll say.
Anyway, lots of shots of that, isn't there? But then the Queen teases her, say, "Hey, we're running out of time. I can help if you want." And all of a sudden, boomf, because the nanoprobes have given her enhanced strength for that second.
Well, yeah. Before that though, the when he says you don't look like a 60-year-old Southern heart surgeon, the guy's name that pulls up is Carl Leonard Kelly, DeForest Kelly, Carl Urban, and like I don't know if that was deliberate, but I'm
Probably
pretty sure it was. So
cool, but I like the foreshadowing that she's already assimilated enough to have enhanced strength.
Yes,
but the Queen's trying to keep it from her, so has to access it via that. I like that. I thought that was. I mean, it's obvious to Trek fans, but it's nice to see as the episode goes on, more and more tech is obviously in her body to allow her to do things that aren't able. So the next week we can jump the shark and go really far. So I was for that.
Yeah. But then they get the IDs all uploaded, so the facial recognition won't be a problem.
Great Rios picture, just really flattering.
Yeah.
It's really bad in a funny way, like it made me giggle a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Picard's. Well, better late than never. It's like, I'm not going to praise you, but also good job. But Jesus Christ, I thought that was a nice line.
And the whole Queen saying she wants to get their night underway, and then she like holds out her hand. That was a little weird, but
very weird.
Yeah.
Well, we've never seen a brain assimilation with a Queen before, so it's all going to be weird. I mean, this is a race that's killed tens of trillions of lives. This shit is weird. You know, the game here is. I mean, they just want to shag data. I mean, these things are weird. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that. And then back to Picard. Moving on. It's all repeated stuff. We get a trombone close up. Thanks, Frakes. Clearly, come on.
That reminds me. Did you hear that the shuttles on the Titan are all named after jazz musicians? I don't know if you've heard that.
Have we seen Titan shuttles?
We have in Nordex.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Did we even watch? Did we miss Lower Decks? Did we even watch it?
Who knew?
I don't know if I remember reviewing it.
Huh. It's a rumor, apparently. Yeah.
Well, if it's a rumor, Stu, you can't trust those. Did you hear Alex Kurtzman been fired for a 37th time?
Oh, anywho.
She's doing shots in every single scene. That's. I mean, that's. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you said that. And the crew are getting their pictures taken, and she gets called over. But then she goes on. Talon says, she's pretty good at acting, like she's well, but there's this little thing she does with her earlobe, which I expected her to do right away when she was standing up there with everybody, but she doesn't. She does it later, which I kind of appreciated. Actually, it would have been too much of a immediate payoff. So. But and then he asks, who takes care of you? You've spent your whole life watching after her. Who watches after you? And it kind of like makes her like have this look.
And it's interesting. It's like a slight twinge of your face is very cute, but I'm also older than you, and I care for you as a person. I'm a captain. I like the interesting balance Patrick had. They were kind of both vibes at the same time.
Yeah.
So good for him in the acting.
What else happens here? Oh, yeah, she's talking to the Borg Queen, and the guy beside her is like looking at her like she's crazy. But we're not sharing this body. You're a house guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she even says something like, the Queen says, "Oh, while I don't like being nervous, I like something endorphins with a shot of." Like, I like the chemistry lesson that she's giving because she thinks in those pathways.
Yeah,
but
I talk about Rios and having lied to her friends and stuff. So,
but as you said, it's odd that the security who pulled her away, and she's the only one wearing the sort of red dress. That no security's thinking, wait, wasn't there a call about this woman like 21 minutes ago? Like, security's going to be on the ball and memory. And this is a NASA gala before the astronauts go to lockdown. And given the world is currently a bit poor and damaged, this is the elite with elite security. So it is odd that they don't even, because she's almost at the exact same place she was in the first scene, grabbing the booze.
Yep.
It's slightly odd that no one even thinks that she probably isn't meant to be there.
Yeah, and then when the black security guard that like approached her the first time, you see him later on the stairs. So
right, okay,
he's still around,
just not doing his job so well.
And as you said, they could maybe call the control room and say she's still there, to which there's no answer. Well, that raises more red flags.
Yes,
but yeah.
And I gotta say, it's interesting to see the Queen in real life conditions without the green. It's certainly less interesting a design without the harsh contrasts. It's way more pale skin vibes. Still works quite well. Well, I do miss the eyes.
Yeah,
but it's a good little scene.
Then we get the Rios and Raffi scene, which is great. He's like, "Ta-da, real cigar!" And he grabs the food, and he's like, "Oh, it tastes so good." And then matches. Look at the simple joy of matches.
And you're wondering, is he actually going to light up a cigar in a public? But no, he doesn't. He wants to do all the steps except light it, which is nice because he shouldn't light it, and especially if he's trying to quit for being a captain, because he said that although speaking of, actually, it starts with Raffi looking at bourbon or some alcohol and deciding to not go for alcohol.
Yes, clubs. Yeah, she orders clubs.
Which is the smallest of nods to her addiction past, but I
didn't even notice it till you mentioned it right now. So
it's a very appropriate level of, that was such a problematic part for the character, and to have that just be a moment is actually quite, yeah, okay, you know what, yeah. Same with the cigar, these are things that she did originally. I was like, yeah, okay, you handled that well. She dealt with it and we moved past it and she's stronger for it.
Yeah, and he talks about Teresa and how she's doing such a great thing for people with the clinic, and Raffi's kind of like, you got to kind of watch that. You're from a different century, so...
that sort of long distance is really hard.
Yeah.
Especially as I could go date your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter.
Yeah.
But it's a genuinely lovely little scene, and these scenes feel more meaningful than a lot of the smaller scenes this episode, because it adds to Rios' character, as Raffi's character. They're both Starfleet higher up, so you kind of get the sense of professionalism, and yet why is Rios being so chill? The contrast is fun.
Yeah.
But this adds to both of them quite well, and they've known each other a long time. Unlike the rest of the cast, we already established that Raffi chose Rios because she worked with him earlier in season 1, and so they've got a very long history, and so I like that. But is this hinting that he wants to stay in the past, maybe, for Teresa? Because all these things he's enjoying here, even being locked up, he quite enjoyed at the end of it. It was upon his lines almost, So I think it's an interesting little take of, she said, I don't want to see this happy, and okay, yes, she wasn't on his spaceship for the last few months, presumably, but like she knows him, and he's like just enjoying,
Yeah, and being happy is even talked about with Seven, how she's really digging not having the board game.
Yeah.
Just enjoying herself, but she plays such a minimal part in this episode. So
even though you would think 7 of 9, the legendary scientist and explorer, would, I guess the science brain is turned off right now in favour of the human. But why not have a human brain scene? Why not cut to her talking? Maybe a guy flirts with her from the present and she enjoys it, and then talks to Raffi. And why aren't there those scenes? We have plenty of screen time, guys. We have 10 to 12 minutes of free time that you could do 50. Why don't we see a 7 scene? Why even bother seeing Elnor in a suit? Why bother hiring that guy for one day? Why? I don't. Why was that there?
I thought that was stupid too. Yeah.
It was really unnecessary. It was
totally unneeded. Like, if they were in a hurry doing something and time was of the essence, and she saw him right in front of her, and she stopped for a second, and it's like, ooh, build up the tension, that would be fine. But here it's like, hey, look, we still have this actor on the payroll contract. You're in this episode.
He's still in a COVID hotel waiting for episode 9. Might as well use him. Which honestly is part of also some of the logic here as well, because you've got to be in quarantine, etc. I mean, but do you realize how many people she's lost in her career at Starfleet?
Yeah.
She knew him for less than a year. Maybe she knew him on the planet originally, but I doubt it. It's not forced. It's just super uninteresting out of all the things they could be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Then we get the Renee thing where she's drinking a lot and she's
Every
texting,
scene.
and she's doing a thing with her ear, and so she intercepts the text and it's going to Q, I guess, the therapist, and he's speaking her out, and she here's the subtitles, says something, but its subtitles just says speaks Romulan. Again, another Romulan reference, even though we've established she's not Romulan. Well, kind of. So.
Yeah, they're playing both sides of the fence there. And I did like Picard and her line saying, "She's always on her mobile device." Yes, we all
Yes.
are. Was quaint. I thought that was apt.
Yeah.
And it's sad that she's alone, the famous astronaut, because she's leading this mission. I would like to have seen her interact with people, because like the last two, she's barely a character. I know she's more of a symbol, but to only give that lady one scene to actually act, I feel sad for her, because this is a big chance in Star Trek. She's a Picard. She has one scene in 3 episodes to actually do something meaningful. Isn't just sad without saying stuff.
Yeah.
But I did like this is the moment she's going to go talk to the head of project guy, and then they've got to stop her, even though.
Well, he also says Girardi speaks Dr. Moose's language, so
yes.
Or Girardi, and of course that's the next scene.
But unfortunately, she's possessed currently, so almost.
Yeah, and the Borg Queen's like, just let me drive a little. It's like, no, this is 50-50. It's by design. Then she orders the drink. The guy gives her a once-over. And she says, you've been getting a lot of attention this evening.
Yes.
Like, it's just the dress. And she's like, no, it's us together. You're confident. You're da-da-da.
Which I appreciate the Queen just lying out her teeth, because people aren't noticing she's confident. She hasn't said anything to anybody. If anything, she's too confident. She's speaking to herself. That's what they're seeing. So I like the Borg Queen. It's just the constant voice in the head. It doesn't have to be logical. It's just always there. Which is the collective. Yeah. There's always a voice. So there's a nice parallel here. But then Rios comes in and tries to help her.
Well, he says, Picard's been calling you.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Well, I guess I must have turned off my communicator.
Accidentally. She says,
turn it back on immediately. She doesn't even touch it. I don't know. It just seems disconnected.
Oh, it's okay, Jose. Enjoy. Yeah, it's weird that isn't more of a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's a professional, sort of. Etc.
Yeah. And the whole, well, you can lean on me anytime. She's like, I know, that was one of the best things about you. You're worried about me. You're doing that cute little thing with your eyebrow. And
then he does touch it. I thought that was nice.
Yeah. And then the Queen basically says, here, allow me. And they kiss. So.
It's a good little moment. Considering I don't think we're going to get any other... This is the closure of this relationship. Mm. It's the shadow of what season 1 was. They did something because they made them. Here we go. But Rios has obviously moved on already. He's mentally thinking about Teresa. And, just not this.
Yeah.
But the fact that they pushed this shows us this isn't going to continue. Last chance. And not going to be a thing. No, I thought it was actually quite a good little scene. But this is when the episode, you start to realize, it's just lots of conversations with people in a bar. That's all that's going to happen this week. Like we're in the same set. It's just lots of conversations. These are all better ones so far. But there's no actual story here. It's just people in a room. They needed something extra that's cool. They needed 10 minutes of something on the ship, or Q, even like Q to walk in and talk to the director or something clever, or even Brent be here the entire time. It's just all a bit lackluster.
Yeah. Anyway, Renee takes off, and Picard's like, we can't wait for Girardi. And she's going to go after her. And she's like, no, what are you going to say? I don't know yet. Typical Picard. I'm not quite sure, he says. And then he bumps into Adam Soong.
And great realization is like, Data, Law, Adam, all the names I know of Sung. Which one are you? He's like, hi, I'm
Let me
Adam.
get my scroll. All right, let's see. Which one are you?
And I love the fact that Patrick's wearing black suit, white under, and Adam's wearing white suit, black tie, the exact opposite colours. So I like that as an easy parallel of good versus evil, and he's wearing all good colours, white being good in this situation. So I like that parallel, and it's a good scene because the way it says Picard, you're like, ooh, where are we going with this shattered reality? It doesn't. Okay, it's slightly underwhelming. It'd be cool if it said you're from the Enterprise in the 26th century, and blah, blah, blah. Would have been kind of cool, but it's still a good little. Because this is not Brent being Law or Data and this is a purely unique Brent Spiner character, and it's fun to see them actually have a scene together because I don't know if they're going to have any more, potentially ever necessarily as this version. I thought it was a rather good scene. And these close-ups are so like texturally cool with all the yeah, that was good.
But they have the whole we have a friend in common, Mr. Q. It's not my friend.
Yes.
I'm going to stop, and then Brent's like, I'm going to stop Renee from doing this mission and leave her alone. You have no idea who you're dealing with. And then he's like, neither do you. And that's where this lady comes up and says, thanks for the generous donation to the Europa mission. Want a VIP tour? And then he says, that gentleman, and that's all you can really hear, but in the subtitles he says, that gentleman is dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a beautiful little moment because we were expecting him to try and kill them directly, but this is so much more clever and subtle. But also, is Q's plan to have Brent Spiner use his money to bribe the NASA people to throw him out of a party? Q could do that by now I've got 80 million and 800 billion in the bank. I don't.
Doesn't work though.
Well, when he went before his powers lost. Why, like, you know what I mean? Why is this the plan? Why is this? This is a slight diversion. Clearly, under it instantly.
Well, I think it was to grease the palms of NASA to get her off the mission, but it never followed through with it or something because it's really weird at the end where he's like, got to take her out, tries to run her over, and then hits the other Picard by mistake. So I really don't know. Plus, you got to think too, his funding's been cut.
I know.
So any kind of money he has is
savings.
Yeah.
They clearly gave several million. So
you have to make a large donation, yeah.
Because she's like, oh, you're generous. She's like, holy shit. So I would expect at least 5 to 6 million, and put them on the board instantly. So it's a really odd little moment. I like it as a scene, but if you think about the grand Q logic, I don't see how it factors in at all. Q is a god being. Even without his powers, he's a god being. He doesn't need some other guy to buy his way into a thing. I like the idea that he might have tried to get the other lady out of the program, but with 3 days left, you can't fire your chief astronaut. Because astronauts work as a team, they build up the team relationship.
Yeah.
You can't train all the secondaries stand-ins in the same way, in the same level, necessarily. And if you could, they really need that in the story as well to imply there's a reserve astronaut team who can take over. There's none of that's in the story, so you can't take that as a logical bonus thing. So it's a really odd thing. I mean, we know this is all a test for Picard, but it's at that point, this is just roadblocks, gentle little roadblocks that, honestly, Picard somehow evades the security despite being a very small room. Like, how is he able to outsmart security? Like, because they're like, where's he gone? He's there. He's a small, 85-year-old in real life. It's like, it's not hard to miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we have 125 people here, 72 likes. Please hit that like button. Let's get to 100. We also have the poll you can vote on. We have 115 votes. And so go check that out if you haven't already. And keep the super chats coming. Anything we miss, anything you want to talk about.
Yes.
Do have to say anything you put in a super chat because we do read them all on the air. So as Louder215 said, you can make me say anything. Ish. So, yeah. Consider super chatting and helping us out. I figure this would probably be a lighter live just because of the nature of it being Thursday, and a lot of people haven't seen this yet. But
yeah,
unfortunately, it's the best we can do under the circumstances.
Yeah.
So if you can help us in any way as far as super chats go, we'd really appreciate it today for sure. So.
Yes. Then you see the budget of the episode, all these NASA creations, including the Nomad probe on the right from Rick Sternbach.
Not there yet. Hold on.
Or it's one of the spaceflight chronology probes, which actually is behind our Picard for most of the most of the scene. It would have been obviously nice if this was like later in the timeline to have the NX-01, but we do see the other shuttle. But yeah, she runs out the party into the astronaut zone. And then Queen comes to Gerard to do a distraction.
Yes. You want to help? We'll help. Your friends need a distraction. Let's go.
Pew!
And then she initiate a nano-electric pulse.
Which
shuts down all the lighting.
Clearly, she has many nanoprobes running through her body to have created now an EMP generator inside her body.
Yeah.
Again, one more step. Because then obviously the last part of the episode, she's able to take control entirely, which means the brain's been rewired enough for that to be a thing. But I want to change the poll now. I asked, with 120 votes, what do you think of episode 6? The winner is okay. At 31%.
Kind of where I'm at. So
with a close second, I liked it at 29%. Didn't enjoy it 22%, and loved it 18%, which is definitely the yeah. But quick poll coming.
New poll coming, guys. But hit that like button. We're still at 81 likes. I want to get to over 100. So please do that. Also, if you want to consider hitting that join button as well, getting a new member or two during this live would be amazing as well. So click the join button, see what the options are to help us on a monthly basis. Just saying. We could celebrate your promotion or your addition to the crew here today. So. Is Jackson Roykirk in Picard? Ozzy says. Well, the Jackson Roykirk building was. That was in the first episode we see Renee. So good enough shout out. All New right. Poll is up. Yeah, the Girardi song. What did you think? Cringe? Enjoyed it? Or okay? Because we're there now.
We are. Yep, then she sings a song.
Yeah, even though none of the power has been restored to the building, the spotlight works.
I mean, presumably it's
the
a
band
very
knows the tune.
Presumably it's a very, very quick EMP of an overload. But that one light. Yeah. Now what did you guys think in the audience? Because I know Stuart thought it was a bit weird. I kind of took it as you don't tend to have a. Clearly, everyone's thinking, "Oh, that must be a professional singer because she's really good and she's come in instantly after the power's gone out, therefore intentional." And it feels like a publicity stunt. The spotlight went on. Oh, this must be real. Oh, I recognise the song. I should probably play because I'm a musician. That's my job. And then once one guy says, it dominoes into everybody. And then once the mood is set, everyone's in. Because once one person assumes they know the plan, then everyone else is confident saying, oh, Jerry knew the plan. He's playing. And now everyone says, oh, yeah, this is always a plan. We just went, I just didn't know. So I buy it fine.
All the security guards are going, hey, we just arrested her and you should be... What?
I guess the champagne she was swigging was actually to calm her nerves because she was about to do a surprise singing number. Now, was the song of any significance? Because I didn't mean anything to me personally. I don't know if it was meant to mean anything special.
Well, the lyrics are kind of interesting when you got the Borg Queen in your head. Let's see here. Surrender all of your dreams to me tonight. They'll come true in the end. So the Queen's basically saying, I'll make you feel wanted kind of thing. What else does she say? Oh, girl, it's a cold world when you keep it all to yourself.
Huh.
Now you can't hide on the inside all the pain you've ever felt. So yeah, it's ransom my heart, but baby don't look. Yeah, it's just kind of talking about inner turmoil and can't hide your inner feelings from whoever the song's about, I guess.
Because I have a habit that I've trained myself to listen to soundtracks that I could ignore the words. Pretty much in any song, I just sort of tune out the words, so I didn't even hear the words specifically. I just sort of say, okay, here's a melody, moving on. I just assumed she was just singing a popular song of the time. Okay, cool.
Next line is, because we got nobody else. We're running in the shadows of the night. Baby, take my hand, you'll be all right. Which is symbolic to her taking her hand earlier.
Yes.
Yeah. Matt Boardman, $10. I guess growing up in home where we all sing and play instruments, I really appreciated her voice here. Don't know if it's hers or not, but the voice was fantastic. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. They like to kind of throw in actors, Star Trek actors, actual talents in episodes, like the Doctor and stuff like that. So could be, but it did look like she was lip syncing.
But that's always what happens when it comes to.
It didn't sound like her voice really to me, but hey, what do I know? It's a singing voice. Sometimes sound different.
But you always do that in post anyway, unless you're very odd. So I'm all good with that.
And then she gets the applause with the Borg Queen. And then, oh, by the way, thank you for the flood of endorphins. Those nasty little stress hormones are getting in my way. So now she can take control. She gets to steer the ship for a while, as she says.
Which is great. It's a really good little moment.
Yeah.
Because it's
black eyes.
It's coming off such a strong sort of beat of something, and to suddenly shift in something dramatic, but not in a menacing way. It's more in a, I've got this. Like, it's a very matter of fact sort of, you let this happen sort of way. And I love the idea that, yeah, chemicals change the brain and opens the door. It's a very little smart moment. And then, now she's is she assimilated fully? Because I would find it odd to think that she can take over when a Borg queen, an alternate universe Borg queen, has stolen your brain. You can't just not be assimilated anymore. She's not that smart. That's not how that works. So I would assume she's now gone, unless they, as the crew, use a device that helps to, you know, de-entangle. But like, that's her gone, I'm assuming, from this point onwards, which would explain why she's focused on so much as her having some fun with the character. But I assume that's it. Jurati is ostensibly dead at this point.
Well, the Queen did say, I'm going to take control or steer for a little while.
Yes,
but
I don't know why they'd lose control. That's what yeah. But yeah, then you have the Picard scene, and look up at the very excellent Enterprise reference to the ship that was in every single episode of Enterprise bar 2. You saw it every single time. Excellent rendition.
Twice. Yes. Yeah.
And there's
the reference to his mom. Look up reference to the Borg Queen in the first episodes,
which feels very apt. It works well. And there's behind Picard the space probe from Rick Sternbeck technical manual.
Mm-hmm. But yes, we get the OV-165 shuttle cameo. We call her Spike because she's got these kick-ass aerospike engines that use less fuel. Nice little touch.
Mm-hmm.
And get her mind off of things. So.
Because there's a reason she's in NASA, there's a reason she's a test pilot, there's a reason she's an astronaut. She likes this shit. And that was quite a special thing at the time. No, it's a good scene. It works really well, but I don't buy that one thing's enough to convince her that the last 6 weeks, 6 months, year of giving you depression by a Q god being who knows exactly what to say, this is not enough to convert you to being, and now I'm okay. It feels like an extremely quick wrap-up to an arc that's been super underdeveloped. And while lovely, it would work if Damon Buck came back and convinced her, like, you know, okay, he's a bit shit at it. But Q is very good at everything, and, you know, so it's a bit underwhelming if you think of the grand consequences. But you're not meant to, you're just meant to think of the positivity.
Yeah. Well, I like the whole thing. Like, you're too old for a security guard.
Yeah.
Like, you're too short for a stormtrooper. But I'm the old and I'm the wisest of us all.
No, and there's a great way of creating trust as well, because I'm just security. I just here to grab you, you know, here to bring you back to the party. And it's good to see her act as well, because she doesn't act at any other point really.
And great speech from Picard here. So, as we can expect, Picard is always good with the speeches. So.
And Matt Decker misunderstood me. He said, that's not how Picard Borg works. She's not gone. She won't be gone. No one in the writing department thinks that way. No, I mean, gone as in she won't have control anymore. Once you're assimilated, you can't grapple back control from a Borg queen. Like, Locutus wasn't... Once you're assimilated, he didn't just snap out being Locutus on the Borg ship.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he might have been deep down under, but it doesn't mean he could control stuff. You know, it's sort of what I mean. I mean, yeah, her subconscious is still there, but then you also think a simulation queen would have more, you know, oomph than a drone who isn't meant to think. A queen's meant to think and have a personality. A drone is just there to access the hive mind. A queen is meant to be there to, you know, control everybody. So I could see the personality being erased in a queen logic.
Mm-hmm. But we get a little speech here of, you must be amazing because you made it this far. You're an astronaut. You're the Rene Picard. Mm-hmm. They talk about, you know, my mother had loved the stars as well. And And the whole fear is fear. You know, it makes you smart enough to realize that there's dangers. Yeah, it's a good speech. He'd make a good therapist, I guess. But
yeah, and he's fun when he's like, "No, Q is wrong." He's very fun and forceful. I like it.
Yeah. And then he kind of drops that hint, like even in the darkest of times, there's that little glimmer of light. You need to trust it. And so it's like, no matter what's going on and how bad you feel, look at the positive. So kind of focus in there a little bit, but yeah. Find a way back, yeah. Then we get another flashback scene with his mom. They've been scattered throughout this whole episode.
The same rough stuff, though. I don't feel like I learned anything from these shots, though. It's just there is a flashback, but we're 6 in, we've had no new information. It's just she maybe was getting
information at the end.
Yes, no, yeah. But up to this point, it's just she was maybe getting attacked by her husband, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, been very non-committal.
And he's like, hey, yep, well, Dr. Jemison is going to do a toast. They want you on stage, so let's go.
Yep. And then we get Brent in a car. Oh, sorry, I mean Adam Sung in character in a motor vehicle. Tesla, yeah. I really, really wish we'd had another sequence to Q here. He was begging for him to say, you know, to then cut back to the conversation and say, but if you fail, Mr. Sung, no, you don't have to tell me what will happen. No, I do. If you don't, like, more. Q is massively missing from this episode, his presence.
This just seemed wildly convenient to me because Renee's like, we're going to go around the outside because we can get there the quickest.
In very ADR dialogue on top as if it was added because they thought, oh, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And then, like,
oh,
Adam
no, Alex.
Soon's already outside. So what are the odds that they're going to go outside? He's going to be out there with his car at the exact same moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, I assumed he was going to drive into the building and have a really epic climax. That's what I assumed was going to happen once. Because why be in a car? There's no reason whatsoever to think she'll be outside at any point during the evening, and certainly not where you can predict. So there's zero rationale for this sequence at all, and even less logic once Picard's hit. Why is the gang already at the door outside, and within 4 seconds, Admiral? It's like, why were you out there? You weren't out there. Like, no, it doesn't.
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
Rios followed her to that area. He knew where she was. He could have been sticking around and saw that they left. So
1 second behind, and with Talon as well. I guess. So they're just following them.
He probably went and got them while he was giving a speech, and then they were waiting.
I really wish we saw them following them then, like an extra moment of Rios and Talon talking. I suppose, but it feels so convenient. After this feels convenient. Almost feels like a reshoot. Like we're gonna change this. We're gonna change gender. We're gonna have. Oh, now they're gonna be outside again, and we're gonna have, because filming Brent in a car is really quick. Getting these on location is quite quick. So this feels like almost like we changed the plot a little bit.
Matt Deckard throws in $2.
Thank you.
Picard's mom is creepy. Just saying. I know. You want me to say that, don't you, Matt? Neo Mix, I agree. Picard's mom is creepy.
And yes, Edgar. Admiral's a funny thing to say in front of Renee, and I just got the flashbacks to Admiral Kirk. Admiral, we need to go and save the whales, Admiral. I like he's an admiral in the time travel past thing. That's what she said, Admiral more. Yeah.
And then Talon, like, we got him to the hospital. We can't, no ID, or they'll ask for ID. And then what about your ship? Biobed is not a doctor.
That's a good line. That is a very, very smart line. But I know somebody.
It would have been great if after that line though they actually showed Raffi with like a wince of like, oh yeah, Eleanor died on the bed because the Confederation biobeds kind of suck.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't bring out a tricorder. I guess maybe they thought we can't risk it getting to the party. We'll be searched.
Probably, yeah.
But then also Jurati got a sleep thing next to a groin, so at least, the very least, put a tricorder on the groin.
It was the shape of it. It could have been hidden somewhere else. Like. She would have been searched.
Well, she had a holster. You could see it. You could see the black holster on her thigh. So, yeah.
Never mind then. I didn't see that.
Yeah. But also, you're not meant to search women there at a party for NASA. I think that's probably inappropriate.
Yes.
So, that's what I'm saying. They wanted to put a tricorder. But yeah, and then I don't know how he called Teresa, given he doesn't have a number. He hasn't got a phone.
I thought the same thing.
He doesn't know where to get her, where to find her, where...
Well, he knows where the clinic is, roughly.
Yeah, well, no. He wouldn't. He was taken from it and then driven away. He wouldn't... Like, he would know how to get back to it from a certain location. Raffi and Seven would know. I'm assuming... Well, I'm assuming the Watcher, they said, can you work out this lady's number? Got a number, can you phone her?
Might have got it.
I've got a phone. But it's a really weird cut of like, but you haven't exchanged numbers. You know? And then in this scene, the entire the entire space crew from the future are all useless. Raffi, who is a commander of Starfleet, Seven, who's an ex-Borg, Riosa, captain of Starfleet. Not one of them does almost any medical nurse, and leaves it all to the 21st century guy who doesn't know who doesn't know how to deal with his physiology. I like the joke about the organs.
Transplants.
That was fantastic.
He's had some transplants. Which ones? Or some? How many? All of them.
Like, that's fantastic. But you would think Raffi, who was crying over Elnor, she likes JL more, surely. Like, they're so unresponsive to the situation. You'd think they'd do something. Or even...
They're all thinking, well, he's already died once, so... This might be putting him out of his misery, finally. Yeah. Tries to the defibrillator, and that, like, sparks and blows it, you know. Yeah. Other than that, the bodies can be injured. It's we've heard that it's almost exactly human, so I don't know why the defibrillator decided to have a stroke, but hey.
But I'm going to finish my poll. I asked Jolly Song, what did you think? 94 votes, 48% liked it, 29% cringe, 23% okay.
Yeah. Daniel Vance, I love that when after Picard is hit by the car, Admiral is yelled out twice, but Renee doesn't pick up on it. Oh, I mean, he could have been a former admiral, like, years ago, and now is just working as a security guard for high-level events, just as a paycheck. It's not a big deal, but yeah, there's something tragic just happened, so might not necessarily hear it. Yeah, so we have 101 likes. That's awesome, guys. Let's see how high we can get. Let's try to get up to 120. Hit that like button. And we got a new poll. Is season 2 so far disappointing? Okay. Enjoying it. Best new live action Trek. You'll vote on the poll, guys.
It would have been logical to have this body slightly less resilient to getting physical injury. You can imagine he would want to die of you know, normal illnesses, but why would you not make the skin stronger? Wouldn't you want that? I mean, it's a car, and it wasn't even going that fast, and it's not as if his body is frail. His body is brand new. His body's not frail. Like, I mean, obviously he had survived okay, and they even said he's fine. It's just a mental thing. It's just a bit weird.
Yeah. General Grievous, $5.
Dang.
Most Starfleet personnel had basic field medic training, which one would think is more advanced than 21st century medicine. It didn't make sense to me. Yep.
But
exactly.
They haven't got any of their tools.
It's true, not even a tricorder to see what's wrong internally.
I mean, they should have a tricorder.
But still, they've been in many situations in the course of Star Trek that you're in a cave with somebody, they injure themselves. You can at least do a splint. You at least know that there's internal bleeding. You know, there's things you can look for. So,
like, she's better with her tech, meaning the defibrillator, but they're better with their own tech. But if they could get to her... Wait, hold on. There's no one on the ship. How are they going to beam back to the ship?
Communication uplink with the...
Because it's in France. Because if that's the case, I was going to say, well, they couldn't get a medical tricorder, but they... Well, I guess there isn't necessarily one because it's a Confederation ship. But why couldn't they beam... Well, the fact they thought they could... No, hold on. The fact that they thought they could get rid of the ship shows they can beam there. But also, Laris has a beaming technology. So,
true, yeah.
Why
would...
would...
them back to the ship at any time, too.
Yeah. So, you should at least get a tricorder. I don't know why Laris didn't...
Take Teresa to the ship. Because there's
Well,
Sure, some kind of medical tools on the ship.
well,
Sure, the biobed doesn't have a battery backup, but it doesn't mean
a
it's...
lot longer to find it. I wouldn't buy that so much, but I don't know why Lariston takes Seven to the ship, get a tricorder, come back, start scanning, have Seven be active in the scene.
If they were scanning while Teresa was doing stuff, like kind of hiding it, I would have preferred that, yeah.
Because they know that this timeline is going to be erased anyway in terms of... it doesn't matter if they... it doesn't matter. This all gets undone, so it doesn't matter if you show a tricorder.
But then Brent gets home. And
this is the only scene I thought was better in second watching, because now you understand the full context of his speech. Which has a lot more weight second time. First time I'm thinking it's just, oh, if I can't save you, it's my entire life's work. But then it's like, oh, no, the creation of you, you're the 9th iteration and life's work. Like, that has so much more depth the second time round. And a really good Brent performance. He really knocks out of the park here.
Yeah. Yeah, basically
Thanks, Alex.
saying
Thanks for trying. Next time.
You're the culmination of my work, essentially. I poured my heart into you. I've invented all my life, machines, medicine. So, I hated this reveal because I would have preferred it was his actual daughter. But we kind of get that reveal concreted in a few minutes here. But and he says, "I didn't stop her. I may have stopped him, but that's just collateral damage." And then the why matters. He says the why matters. And somebody else said that in this series, I believe, in this season. But I can't remember who. The why matters. It sounded familiar to me.
Maybe Q?
No, it wasn't Q. Might not have been this. It's just something else I watched recently. So... let's see, 130 people watching, 108 likes. That's awesome, guys. Hit that like button. Let's try to get up to 120. Some more super chats would be awesome. Would like at least another 50 for a super minimum. But hey, unfortunately, this is a night where not everybody's seen it, so that's the best we can do, unfortunately. Let's see. Clone? Yeah, she could be a clone. I don't know.
Well, I assume she was a embryo, just like the augment people from Khan's era, and he genetically modified her to have the same face structure each time, we assume.
No, because all the kids look different.
Did they? I thought they were the same child.
That. No.
Looked like the same child to me.
No, different eye colors, different hair.
But was it the same face, though? Because you can change height.
No. No. They're different kids.
Oh, okay. But different embryos, though. But that's the thing, is he trying to create life whole cloth? Or is he trying to just create a better human augment style? But so everything, he still has DNA from Sung, so it's still a biological child, just not with a mother necessarily. And that's also why he deflected from having a mother previously.
And Chris says he thinks that she's a clone of his real daughter who died from some genetic defect, so he's trying to edit out. I don't think so, because why would you name them all different names then?
Radically different names as well.
Yeah. And
the fact that he had I really liked his aged beard. We'll get to the scene later, but I liked his de-aging. But he didn't look that much younger in any of them, so he had like 6 versions in only a few years, so clearly they've had genetic aging up in the DNA. This is not a 19, 16-year-old whatever lady, because he's not 16 years older than he was in the original video. Yeah. But guys, we're just about a fourth to our minimum. 1/4, which is really bad, so any subjects will help.
I've already said that.
Yes.
When we're gone.
It's weird. But, great speech.
Not really.
Oh. Still weird. And I like how he's clearly given up on her as well. It's weird energy.
Giving up on... Oh, yeah.
And then...
Then we get Teresa, who's got to get back to her kid. And Rios tries to stand up for her, and she's like, I don't need your help.
Which was unnecessary. That was not a good line. The line's
She's pissed. She's just kind of mad at this point.
And he's trying to be all nice and pleasant and...
What's with your defibrillator? Remember your kid was screwing with the settings. Oh, yeah, I have a real lot. I have a, what does she say here? Your kid messing with... Deep respect for a grown man who will scapegoat an innocent child. It's like, oof. And then, trust me, we're the good guys. The good guys never say that. Really? Because the good guys always say that. I hate to break it to you.
Which is a really good line. Because you're like, oh, is that going to maybe be a twisty line? Maybe they're doing things the wrong way? I don't know.
Well, we got a lot of Rios's trailer bait audio in this episode. Like, the 21st century is so intense. And trust me, we're the good guys. Like, those are all in the trailers. So, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Raj, I'm sure the Watcher has tech that can help them communicate with the ship or even get them there. Yes. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Well, we already saw it. Beamed in and out, no problem.
Then she goes snooping on his computer. Googles her dad.
No security of any kind. Just saying. And then finds out that he's a war criminal. Oh, I think President Stalis Treaty talks. Oh, Stalls right there. Yeah. I just wish there was references to Khan here and some other stuff.
Yeah, disgraced scientist. Something over eugenics. Genetic experiments, mad scientist. Yeah, banned after genetic experiments on soldiers. And then she goes into his files and sees these video clips of these kids.
I mean, I guess maybe we see the same girl, because it's definitely the same girl in several of them.
Just the first, 3.
Yeah.
Which is the same girl.
Okay.
And then it goes to...
Yeah, I don't know if that's implied to be the same girl or not. I assume they're all going to look like her, so I kind of assumed it was all attempts. But
well, then you got a young Brent with looks like an actual photo too.
Who
knows?
Oh, it's like a real picture. There's some fun. This one's awful. This is a really, really bad Photoshop.
Yeah, there are some bad ones.
But most of them are good. I like, it's fun to see a weird young Brent.
Some have brown eyes, some have blue eyes, some have green eyes, some have red hair, brown. Like clearly it's trying to represent not the same.
Yeah.
Kid.
Well, these pictures. I just mean the first 3. They're for live action videos, all the same girl.
Well, that's the most successful one. You'd assume before.
Yeah.
That was Persephone was her name.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I like Brent's little thing. I like how it's filmed. I like his vibe. I like the that's the reason he has a beard. Literally, he has a beard so that he can dye it blacker, and he is younger. Clever.
Mm.
But then for some unknown reason, the last one, he feels a weight off his brain because he'll do whatever it takes. We have no idea why, what, or who. The reason. This is the last one, but this will be the last.
Just fun. Or whatever. But
then we get to see a not Romulan graphic. It's green, but it's not that Romulan.
Yeah, the brain scan looks cool. It doesn't feel Romulan like the other ones though. Mm-hmm. So, but I do like the little servo pen thing, like
Yep.
Garrett 7's.
Very much like it. And we get more flashbacks. These are actually the interesting ones. Because we get...
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with him, essentially. He's locked in his own brain. And he's focused on these memories.
Which there isn't really a catalyst for. I guess maybe
Except that he's been talking about his mom with Renee. That's about it.
Yeah, I guess that. And
we get like a... Looks like zombie from Legend.
Yeah.
I Am Legend.
So apparently there's some alien or some gross creature at the bottom of the Picard mansion that they find when he was a kid. And it's like, what? What?
Wow, I mean, if you're a kid, this could be a twisted memory of a Suliban. Certainly kind of looks like you would turn it into a zombie in your memory, maybe.
Well, I think we did, and I know Patrick did say in an interview, the vision isn't necessarily what we think, because it's a memory. That's very true, although, because it's so quick, you cannot guarantee most fans are going to actually go back in and freeze frame it. So this is not, this visual is not going to be, this is not a reveal this week. It's here, but it's not focused on.
General Grievous puts in $2 and says they couldn't mention eugenics for that was secret. Yes, but you could have had a top secret stamp on it, or your eyes only, or redacted stuff.
Well, he would know, because he's a eugenicist. He's one of the top ones in the world. He would be brought into it.
But I mean, for the files she's looking through, he might have some top secret files that say for your eyes, for eyes only, and then top secret on it.
Yeah. They should have had a picture of Khan show up with a picture of young Brent to be like, holy shit, there's Ricardo Montalban and Brent Spiner in the same picture. That's a heavy Photoshop. Yeah.
So her idea is to go into his brain and try to unlock what's going on to pull him out, because he should be fine to get up right now.
And for some reason, Raffi's very against this. I don't know why. Yeah. Well, the fact that she says it's basically a low-key mind meld, it's like, well, she's not a Vulcan or Romulan, and would she have been briefed on Romulans or Vulcans, given that no Vulcans appear for a long time, but they're not from the future, so they wouldn't know that either? Why would she know what a mind meld is?
I don't know.
There's no reason she would.
Well, don't forget, we still have that mind meld scene sometime coming up that we saw in a trailer. Maybe she's been briefed on Vulcans on Earth or something. Who knows?
Yeah, that was weird. It's like another Romulan connection. It's like, what?
Ray Ricks throws in £5.
Thank
you. The more I learn about Q, the more I suspect something catastrophic has happened with the Continuum, or that this is a different Q.
Both.
Yeah, could be that it's dying. Continuum is dying or something.
Oh, Trekyard. That could be Picard's father perceived as a monster. Symbolic monster. Yeah.
Could be. Yep. Yeah.
That's fun. But they're going to Inception. And we've got to do it, Raph. Moving on, okay.
Yeah.
But what could go wrong?
Raph's like, what could go wrong? What? Just look at the bullshit we've had to deal with in statistics.
And it is weird, none of them's wondering where Jurati is.
She was mentioned once. Have you heard from Jurati? No. And that was just passed over.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would think more of that. And then we just get a slightly underwhelming last shot. I kind of would have preferred, like, her, nanoprobing somebody to end off. Personally, would have been much stronger. Because it's a weird visual. What was it trying to say? She's just in the real world, I guess. But she already was, so.
The Lady in Red. Krista Berg song.
Yes.
Anyway. Yep, then she wanders off into the city.
And
Nothing
then...
can go wrong now.
No. But we'll definitely still be in the past next week. So keep expecting this.
Mm-hmm. Well,
there you go.
That's it. 40-minute episode. We did it in just over an hour.
Yep.
It's surprising, because there was very little substance here.
Yes. Very, very little.
Yeah. Well, 121 likes, 142 of you here. Hit that like button. Let's try to get to 150, perhaps. We honestly need at least another 40 for a super, super low minimum, but if you guys can super chat, we'd really appreciate it. This is the time to put in your super chat scores.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know your thoughts. I'll read those out after we talk about ours and give our final scores. And if you just want to put your score in the regular chat, Samuel will read those afterwards. But last super chat slots there and all that. So guys, super chats would be greatly helpful today. But yeah.
And the poll is season 2 so far? The winner is enjoying it at 39%, with OK 32%, 19% disappointing, and 10% best new live action Trek. And I'll have one more poll, and then that'll be the end of my polls for today.
No more Samuel polls. And if anybody wants to join the channel, don't forget the join button is there as well to click that and see if you can help us on a monthly basis. We'd really appreciate it. And yes, we have 4 episodes left. So now we have a Borg Queen loose in LA. We see Borgified officers in the trailer and Girardi running across cop cars. So, like I said, what could go wrong? If the Renee thing's been solved, because there's a throwaway line of dialogue from Talon or Laris that says, we managed to get her into quarantine. We succeeded.
Yes.
It's just very, like, added in the
So
clinics.
presumably that's the end of that storyline. Good job, guys. Yeah. Is the vibe. And it's like, oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah. So the new poll is, do you want to see more in 2409?
It's not 2409. That's...
You might want to change that.
Why did I say 24?
Yeah, just end that, because that's...
Which one is 2409? Is that's starting online, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's... This one, episode 1 was in 2401. So... Yeah, we'll get to our scores in a second after he sorts out that poll. But hit that like button, guys, if you haven't. Because we want to get to 150 at least. It would be awesome. Oh, lady. Yeah, well, I think it's supposed to say 2024 there.
I've heard the 2409 from Stowe so many times because it's got a 2 and a 4. And I was...
Well, you said it earlier too when you were talking about you're supposed to say 2024. You said 2404 or something, and I'm like, what? And you kept going, so I didn't want to interrupt you. But
Stuart, read out the new poll. First time I did it.
Do you want to see more of 2024? Yes, more of 2024, please. Or no, I'm done with the storyline. Personally, I want to see more of 2024 because we're not there yet. I want to make it to at least 2024. So I'd like to see all of 2024. That's just me. But hey.
I mean, maybe not take it as literally those that are in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all want to make it that far at least.
Yeah.
Matt Deckard, $5. The singing scene was too out of place and surreal. There. And here is some money. Thank you, Matt. Much appreciated. All right.
Yeah.
I don't think anything different of it, honestly, after talking with you about it. It was a fun enough romp. It was a good, like, team kind of episode. They were working together. Not everybody did anything. Seven didn't have much to do. Raffi didn't have much to do, but you had the Raffi and Rios talk. The talks were good. That talk was good. Picard's speech was good. And I think the Borg Queen and the Girardi stuff was the best out of this for me. I feel bad that Frakes had to be wasted on this episode. I know he's probably done, he has more coming that he's directed, but just seems odd that this would be the one that they would choose. But I think the last episode and this one were both done by him. So it was kind of like a movie almost.
Yeah.
Movie length, and they kind of chopped it at a weird spot because the other one was like 43 minutes or 42 minutes. This one was like 38 or something. It's just weird. Anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of things they could have done differently. Like Talon could have gone to the ship, got a tricorder. You know, there's a lot of things that I think I would have thought to do in that situation that they didn't even mention. And that's the thing. They're missing dialogue. Like you could have, should we go back to the ship and get the thing or whatever? It's just even not addressed. It's like, let's pretend that we're just in 2024. We have no access to anything else.
Or I would have ended it not with a Borg sting because it wasn't a very impressive sting. I would have ended it with in Picard's mind and like you bring back somebody from the past. Maybe you recast his brother, and he's there and in the chateau, and it's like, oh my god, you know, or even our Renee from TNG, the boy Renee, you know, like you've had a really more powerful end with that with a striking visual of Picard in his own brain.
Wouter 215. Well, I'll read those in a minute. How about you? What was your last thought? Oh, I gotta get my final score. Shit. Enjoyment factor for this one for me would probably be a I want to say a 6.8. For all of Picard, this is going to get probably a 7.3. I don't know. But those are my numbers. How about you?
Yeah, it's okay. It's unmemorable. It's not going to be anyone's highlight, at least for us anyway. Missed opportunities all around the place. Has a few nice moments, but a lot of moments are just like the pace is just so slow and it feels so wasteful. We have 20 times to use Sir Patrick Stewart as Picard, and this is what you're choosing to do with the story. Not so much Picard himself, just I would love to have seen the TNG writers tackle this sort of story. Just they would have done so much better. And as I said to you earlier, and it'll be in our review released tomorrow, Terry, the showrunner, actually revealed that he was asked by a fan specifically, how was it? How did you manage writing seasons 2 and seasons 3 and showrunning both, as in writing, as in leading the team that writes them for Picard season 2 and 3? And he said, well, actually, I didn't. I started with season 2, and then I chose to go work on season 3, writing, showrunning, and so I gave the second half of this season, as in I stopped midway roughly, to give it to Akiva Goldsman to help finish off the writing and finishing process. And you look at where the quality dips all of a sudden, it's the second half of the season. So Akiva Goldsman, who has a very bad track record in terms of actual quality work in Hollywood, very, very bad. So many projects are just pure like creative failures. Money-wise, fine, but and you look at Terry had the first couple and they're stronger by an absolute mile, and these ones just are missing the boat. But Terry is in charge of season 3. But it's just, why not bring your A game for both seasons? Why have such a dip? You only have 20 times with him. Don't give it to a guy that's not able to do the job, etc. Yeah. For me, and that's a very simple review because there's not anything to say really. There's so little to it. It's only slightly better than the Watcher episode because that we had more problems with. Like that had Guy and stuff wasn't very good, and this wasn't very. But there's not much bad here, but there's not much good here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a 6.7, which is very slightly higher than that one, but it's yeah, and that's being sort of generous. Trying to base on my other scores, like definitely in the mid 6 range is very, very generous for this episode. Overall, Picard. I mean,
season 1 sucks so bad. Those numbers are bumped up.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's some things with Picard. It's like with your Discovery. It's like it's trash, but it's more enjoyable to watch trash. Season 1 stuff happens of Discovery. It's shit, absolute shit, but something happens. This isn't very entertaining, but is watching, stupid stuff in season 1 more interesting than this? I don't know. I'm at the point where it's like, well, nothing. They're not using the time well enough. I'm gonna say 6. I'm gonna match it 6.7 to both. So,
true.
Not good.
Well, Chuck Jones says, why is Girardi leaving the party a cliffhanger moment? Because of who's in control.
Yeah, she's now a Borg queen walking through Los Angeles in 2024 with nanoprobes.
Yeah.
That's why. She's now... the Borg want to do this for a very long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to your Super Chat scores, guys.
Yes.
Wouter215 throws in €10, so thank you so much. 5 out of 10 for me. I got interrupted for most of this episode, but this live filled in the gaps in a great way. I'm going to watch this episode again tomorrow. Like people. General Grievous throws in $2. Brent Spiner, putting the car in Picard since 2024. That's friggin' hilarious. You get a gold star for that one. That's good. Christian Montgomery, $2. Q's Tapestry Part 2 plot isn't working for me. 6 out of 10.
Please read Warpig. That's a phenomenal comment.
Where is it? Never slag off Disco Season 1. That was the best 13 hours of sleep I ever got. That's good.
So there's non-super scores. We've got a 6 out of 10. We've got a 7 out of 10. We've got a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, so pretty much in line with us. 6.5, 7, 7, 6, 8.6 Aussie, wow. Metallica fans 6. Stanley 6 to 7. General Guru 6.5. So yeah, we're on par with everyone else.
Han Pritchard, yes, it was a Tesla, and yes, it should have avoided him because of their. Unless he disabled it. Teslas have a feature that detects people, and
yeah, but he's a super genius.
He is. Well, I guess that's all she wrote today.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it picks up at the end of the season, but my expectations are now lowered. They're lowering every week.
Yeah.
I certainly can't wait to go to the future and have proper stories again. But at the very least, Patrick is doing great as Picard.
He is, yeah.
So great for that. And the getting references pretty good. And Brent was fantastic. And the Ball Queen was fantastic. But the story wasn't there.
Yep.
And yeah, how many more likes do you want to do in the last minute or two?
11 likes. 11 more likes would be awesome. Let's get to 150.
$15 would be.
Yeah, last super chat's available. Christian Montgomery has it right now, but another $15 would be a great way to close out. So even a $20 super chat or something would be amazing. But yeah, fortunately not much to talk about this week.
As even less when you watch it a second time, as how little happens. It's weird. I think we both thought there was more this morning when we did our review, and now it's well, there isn't.
Yeah.
Weird.
I would say so too.
Some more other scores. 6, 5. Math. Well, 1 out of 4. 2.8-ish. 8 and 8.9. 5, 5.5. 5, 6, 7.5. C minus 7.5. But yes, pimp out the Chicago, Stuart.
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Chicago, guys. So if you see me there at Mission Chicago, say hi. I'll be there on the weekend, and yeah, hopefully it's a good one, and some cool stuff happens. Get some good announcements, maybe. Who knows?
I'm excited for you.
Looking forward to things to talk about when I get back. So. And
in fact, wouldn't be surprised if we do if I have an emergency live with an announcement or something. Yeah. Although speaking of, the new Prodigy game just got announced. That's cool. With well, the box art is just the main poster, so that tells us nothing. But yeah, Prodigy games. We've got a Lower Decks mobile game and a Prodigy actual video game coming out, and Resurgence as well. So 3 video games in the next year or so.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Cool.
And all 3 in the post-Change era.
Nice.
Yeah. Just obviously Lower Decks being a weird art design, Prodigy as being their, more kiddie style. Although I did know in the Lower Decks teaser images, they've used now a Type 9. They've other canon designs are in.
What kind of gameplay is it going to be for the Lower Decks one?
Oh, it's like a. Did you ever play the Simpsons Hit and Run, not the Simpsons tap game or the American Dad tap game?
One of those.
Not exactly that, but a game with in mechanics. A real game, just with a simple repeatable mechanic, I'm sure, but with canon lore and reference and stuff. So, and Mike is involved. Oh, and in fact, it's a mobile game. It can't be that complicated. I mean, there's not that much you can do with them. But also, I just got reminded that Lower Decks is now in Fleet Command as well. If you're still playing Fleet Command and you want to have the 2D Mariner, the 2D are in the game.
Nice.
So, yeah.
General Grievous, $5. This is why I try not to get too excited. I manage my expectations to keep it low. That way, if it's great, fine. But if not, I don't get my hopes crushed. Yeah, it's sometimes easier said than done, though. Sometimes you just can't help but get a little excited for something a little too much. So.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I said to you earlier, it was almost the worst thing they could have done was to give us such a good first episode. Because it set the bar, and please do say your counter from earlier, because once you show you can do like 9.5 level, to slump all the way down to a 6.5, that's a hell of a slump. And your counter this morning was?
Well, they did such a disservice to Picard and everybody in season 1 that they needed to grab us and get our attention and slap us in the face and say, look, we're going to do better. And they did that with episode 1. If they'd started in with this story in some more diminished capacity than what we saw, I don't think people would be on board to watch this. So it was very much a grab our attention type of deal. And I think that a lot of people are saying the same thing about the announcement for season 3, bringing the original cast back. That it's not good faith. They're just trying to up their ratings because they realize that there's been a severe decline in quality again. But that being said, season 2 is still head and shoulders above season 1 as far as quality and storytelling and characters go, in my opinion.
But that's the thing, though. Do you want to see stupid mistake content or bland okay content with a few bright moments? It's tricky. Like what it's tricky.
This is a more compelling story than season 1 for me.
Is there a story?
There is, but it's following in the same hole that Discovery season 4 did.
Well,
one story stretched razor thin in spots.
In fairness, both filmed in the pandemic, so them realizing we need to aim for less so we can achieve it. But
flimsy excuse at best.
Especially since they already finished filming season 3. It's not as if they only filmed this last week. They had, you know what I mean? They had at least another 6 months they could have been filming if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Or 3 months.
Ray Ricks, £5. This is the problem with Doctor Who style mystery boxes. You won't get answers to the last episodes.
I just assumed they'd be out by episode 6, honestly. I thought 6 would be pushing it. I thought it'd be really fun, like 3-parter, back in the past.
I don't think you thought that. You were hoping that.
Well, no, I didn't.
Deep in your brain, you were thinking they're going to be there the whole goddamn season.
Well, it's because I didn't think there was enough story in the past to have it, and I was right. There isn't. That's the thing. I was absolutely right. It's just they're doing the wrong choice of stretching it.
Mark Lawrence, $10. Hi, Cap and Commander. A bit off topic, but I was wondering if anyone here is going on the next month's Voyager away missions.
No, I couldn't afford anything like that. I don't live in America. But he was asking you guys for the Voyager doc. They gave cast members giving tours on location as perks.
First time hearing about it. So.
Or did you donate to that campaign?
I did not.
There you go.
General Grievous, $2. Berman and Braga watching Goldsman. Miss us yet?
Yeah. I mean, they must be watching saying, our Patrick was better. Our Picard was better. Yes. Yeah.
So it looks like General Grievous might have that last Super Chat slots. But thank you guys. Another 5 people. It would be awesome before we close out, or while we're closing out. But
and the poll,
I think we're pretty much done.
Yeah, the poll though. Do you want to see more of 2024? No, 72%. Yes, 28%.
They should have known that. 4 episodes max in this 2024 was what they needed. Even if they had to go back and revisit it for an episode because they fixed things but not quite completely. Yep. And then you get some shots of seeing them like Back to the Future 2 style.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You make it really compelling. Yep. You jump back into the present and say the Federation's still here. And they get attacked and they have to be in prison, they have to get out of prison, they have to go back in time again, and they have to have 2 of themselves. Yeah, but that's also not the time for rules they've invented for this, so.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, I think we'll call it there.
And Sebastian says, I don't think this episode was bad. I'm intrigued what the Borg Queen will get up to having taken over the body. But that's the thing, you're intrigued because of next week. That's what these episodes do. They make you think, oh, next week will be better.
Yes.
But that wasn't a comment on this week. That was it's a cool idea for next week. But that's what happened last week. And then the one before that. You know?
Yeah. Anyway, could have done it better. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll call it there. So thank you so much for watching. Sorry it was a night early, and a lot of people that are watching this after the fact hadn't seen it at this point. That's probably why it was such a slow night, but that's okay. We'll be back to the normal time next week.
Yep.
So
please have a great time in your convention, Stuart. Have fun.
I will try.
Make the most of being outside in the real world. Do you know it? Can you live in it? Are you confused by it? You know?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but hey. Anyhow, on that note.
Fair.
Till next time, he's Commander Calkins.
He's kind of Foley.
See you guys soon.